This is Scott from Zao, and you're listening to Dale, Twan, and Chad on the Vulgar Display of Podcast.
Welcome to the Vulgar Display of Podcast. Got Dale here. What's up, Dale?
Hey, what's up? What's up, buddy?
Got Twan here.
What's going on, fellas?
Twan/Anthony.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never know what to call you.
Me either.
You guys know I'm a Zao fan.
Yes.
And I know you guys are
Born
as
and
well.
bred, yeah.
On the line right now, we have Scott from Zao. Scott, how's it going?
It is going great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hell yes. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate the shit out of this.
Zao has an upcoming tour. I haven't said that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
in a long time. So excited, man. Because like Darkest Hour are old friends. I mean, we toured with them in 2001, I think. So, and Bloodlet, we've all been fans of Bloodlet for years, but this will be our first like tour with them. So it's just going to be super, super fun.
Yeah, that's a killer lineup.
Yeah, it is. Great lineup.
When I saw that you guys posted it, I was like, oh, man. And it doesn't. It's mostly East Coast, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't get this way. But maybe in the future, we'll try to get you this way or we'll catch one of your shows. But I was super stoked to see that you guys are getting back out there and doing it.
Yeah, we're hoping that this will be the beginning of kind of, maybe not like full time, but a lot more than what we have in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Right.
And it did seem like there for a while, you guys would kind of do one-off shows or like a couple shows in a row where, maybe it was even better for like you guys' personal lives because I know you guys have jobs and careers and families and all that. Was that intentional to sort of give you guys a little bit of a break from all those years of being road dogs?
I definitely think the family and the work stuff is what cuts it back. I always think about it this way too, because we have said it in the past, but I looking back and saying that, like, being on the road is such a privilege and it's just amazing. So taking a break from that is never really the key. Like it's because, being able to play in front of people is, there's really not a way to describe that. So, but I think that like now that all of us are older and we have like families and work to kind of stabilize us financially, I think that's kind of what inhibits us a little bit. But we're hoping like with these maybe in the next year or 2 years, we'll be able to get kind of back to playing a little bit more and doing like more than, like a weekend, getting out for like a week or two at least. So.
And me and you are a part of a club that you didn't know we were a part of. We're both girl dads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's pretty awesome until they hit a certain age, right?
It's fun for a short time.
And I love that she was able to play violin on you guys' latest record.
Oh, yeah. That was super special for me because like Sydney's really musical. She picked up a guitar and she can play a little bit of that, but she really like kind of focused in on piano and violin. And when we were able to get her to do something on anything, I'm always trying to find ways to get her kind of involved. So she was excited to do this little violin run and she put it on there and it sounded great. And it really felt like an ad, like it totally added to that song. So
yeah, I bet that was super cool for you. I'd heard in some interviews that I think maybe previous years she'd kind of make fun of you for some of the stuff you were involved in.
Yeah.
And
she still does.
Yeah. And I can certainly relate to that. My girls will make fun of me, any kind of creative thing I'm involved in. Like, yeah, Dad's going to do his talkie in the mic thing.
Yep.
So yeah, to be able to have that moment with you guys, I bet that was cool for you. So that was really neat to hear, and the song is awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so proud of all of it.
How important is your art and your craft and the music how important is it for you guys?
Honestly, feel like it's saved everybody in the band's life in some regard. I think that being able to express yourself in any way creatively is when you are that type of person, it's almost like a necessity. It's not like, oh, I might have to do this. It's like, no, I have to do this. So I know, like, with all of us, man, I feel like music found us in a time when we really needed it. And throughout all of my life, outside of my family, there's really not much else that can keep you like centered and motivated and wanting to be here. So.
And we talk to a lot of musicians, and, you know, that's a running theme through, I think, most of our interviews is like, we would do this regardless.
Yes.
Whether people listened or not. We would create regardless because it's just a part of us.
I think, too, it's always interesting to me to have, like, people come up and talk to us about how, like, you know, certain records have meant so much to them, or, like, when you get the really, like, you know, people saying that it saved their lives, you know. Mm-hmm. I completely can relate to that because I usually just say back, it saved me too. So yeah, it's really, really amazing what music can do for people.
You guys are kind of maybe a little bit of a lineup change joke in the metal and hardcore community, right? The kind of joke for many, many years was who's in Zao now? Mm-hmm. But I think what doesn't get recognized is how long this current lineup has been together. I mean, you guys have been together a full band lifetime. So what are you guys on? Maybe 10, 12 years?
This lineup has been pretty solid since like 2005. So what is that? It's 2022. So
17 years. That's a good run.
17 years. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, that's like usually bands are broken up well before that.
Exactly.
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now we did, you know, to be fair, we took that little break from like 2009 up to like 2014 or whatever. But the band, like, membership has been completely the same since 2005. So, I mean, it's funny like that. The joke of us having different members it originally felt always like a dig, but man, I don't think there's a band that could last like any given time period that can keep every single person. Sure. It's super hard. It's, if you go look at the bands that like have members that have been the same members for, you know, 20 years or whatever, 25 years, I would say that's the rarer thing.
Very rare.
People. Yep. Very small percentage.
Every band has lineup changes.
Yeah, it's just because, like, I mean, you know, people's situations change, people's, you know, personalities change. So, I mean, I started when I was 19. I mean, I'm a completely different person. I mean, I was a different person in 5 years of the band because you know, learn so much from being around those band members and new people and touring and seeing the world and all that stuff. So the nice thing, though, I will say this, the member changes were what they were, but like as it stands now, the friendship of all the members of the band is like as strong as it's ever been. I mean, every member that's ever been in the band, we're all in contact with each other. We all keep you know, up with each other and all have a friendship now. So that like little world, that little family that is Zao is actually pretty strong. So I'm happy about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. You guys have seen and done things together that have made like that brotherhood, like even tighter.
Yeah. Yep.
And so does Russ still live on the West Coast?
Russ actually lives in Pittsburgh. So he's like he's right here with us.
Okay.
He came back like 2 or 3 years ago. So he's been here for a pretty good amount of time. I know like the West Coast is his love. So he definitely is going to end up there again, probably, you know, within the next couple years or whatever. But we have him here now, and we'll just kind of like focus on everything we can focus with everybody that's close. Like Jeff, our drummer, he's lived in Brooklyn for the last like 10 years or so. But that's not that's like a 5-hour drive. It's not too bad. Mm-hmm. But even he is thinking about possibly moving back here. So Pittsburgh might be our like main base like it used to be. So
it's been a little bit since you guys have all been kind of in the same area.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, you know, definitely doesn't help for rehearsals.
Right.
If everybody gets back here, we'll actually might sound like a real band.
Yeah.
And when you guys first started out, when you first joined Zao, which was like what, 97 or 98?
Yeah, not like right at the end of 98.
We're just getting into compact discs then, you know, and now it's
I know.
And for the record, you're not talking to any young bucks on this side either. I'm 41 and these guys are close to that. So
Oh dude. Yeah, I'll be 44 in August. crazy. It's crazy.
Time flies.
But isn't it crazy how in your lifetime, in your span of being in Zao and making music, you know, we kind of went from tape decks to where we're at now, where you can write a record from somebody that's halfway across the world.
Yep.
It is like really strange. And what's strange to me too is how that whole like thing happens so gradually. Like I think about it like, you know, if you would have told me when I joined the band, like, hey, there's going to be a time where like you're going to actually have a studio in your house and you're going to be able to just record your guitars and like send it to people and then they're just going to send it to the studio, I would have laughed at you, right? And like now I have a studio in my bedroom that it probably sounds better than the recordings we did when I first joined the band, right? So it's like it is crazy the technological, like all that technological jump. With all that stuff. And like having people, if Russ does move back out to the West Coast, it's literally gonna do nothing. Like it
doesn't
we'll
hinder
be able to,
anything.
No, like we'll like share back and forth riffs. We'll, you know, and then luckily like Zao does have the one thing, I mean, we're able to financially have him when we play, like fly out. So we're lucky in that regard for sure. So that's not a bad thing. But yeah, like it's not, having people live in different places does not hinder bands anymore.
That sort of work from home thing, is sticking around, and it's even with bands too.
Yeah, COVID was a blessing and a curse.
I think so. I mean, you could see like we finally realized like, oh yeah, you don't have to be in a stupid office for just some guy to yell at you about doing the job that you're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the same thing here. Like, being able to do things at your house, it's awesome. But being able to get out there and play is so important, and I'm so glad that's finally, that's, you know, opening up, and we're seeing that be a little bit safer now. So,
you know, and Zao is a live band.
Oh God,
I agree.
You can experience the audio, you know, the Spotify's and the Apple Music, whatever you're listening on, all day long. But that's an experience that you have to have. Me and Twan have a few Zao experiences. Probably won't remember the show. You were out on tour with Madball and Remembering Never, maybe?
Remembering Never.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was the Ferret. It was like
it was. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did I remember? Yeah, I usually remember everything.
So you actually played our little hometown here in Farmington, Missouri.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you know, it was one of those 5-year winners where here we go, everybody's bum rushing the stage, and we're all, you know, in the mic and jumping, and it was a good time and one of my favorite concert experiences maybe ever.
Well, that's what I love about where Zao is and stays. Like, obviously everybody, and I would love to be able to have music be my career and not have to worry about anything else and make all the money that you can make being in a band and all that kind of that whatever. But really when it boils down to it, like our band, I think, could never be anything that wouldn't have the ability to have that happen. Like, I just don't see how Zao could ever exist in the correct way without it being able to be like, you know, the interaction with people that are at the show. I mean, you know, we're on we're just the same level. Like, I don't ever, personally don't feel like I'm any different than anybody else. I'm lucky I even get to play guitar in front of people. Like, we as a band don't think of ourselves like that at all. You know, we feel just as connected to people as they do us. And I don't think our band could even be a band if it was ever like to the point where we were playing to like so many people you couldn't just interact with everybody.
Right, the connection.
Yep.
I bring up 5-year winner. What is that like? Being on that side, and I know sometimes when you play that song, your stage is everybody's stage at that point.
It's a takeover.
But help us understand what that feeling is like to have so many people in that club or venue, wherever you're at, connect with that song in such a way that would make them do things that they normally wouldn't do.
I can't even quantify it. Having a song that anybody knows is just it'll blow your mind. And it's such a strange feeling to like have a song that you were a part of that like everybody there knows that song. And like, it's so hard to explain that kind of feeling. Because people joke like, oh, whatever, being on stage is like the best drug that you can never actually get. Right. And it's true. Cause like it puts you in such a unbelievable state of bliss to know, like, not only do people even know your song, they actually care about your song and
it's singing along.
They know the lyrics and you're important to that person. Like, I think that's it. And it really does boil down to just that connection with people. Like having that type of connection with people, there's just nothing that can even come close to it.
I'm not a mosher, dancer.
Me neither.
I usually sit in the back, nod my head, and I enjoy the show from afar, I don't have to get in all the craziness. However, when you guys played Farmington and that song came up, you guys started playing that song, I don't know what the hell happened to me.
Same. You were in a different state of mind.
I jumped up on stage. I was chanting the lyrics, and I think I even threw my arms around you and said, "Great time."
You turned from Anthony to Twan.
Yeah, really think about it though. Like, Dan's whole concept for that song is something that everybody can identify with.
Absolutely.
And, being able, there's just something like primal about burning something down and walking away from it. Like, I always feel that way. So like that lyric is he nailed it with that lyric. And like, I feel like any position in any person's, because that's the thing about what it is for being on the stage. Cause like the release that you get from doing something like that, you can't get it from anywhere else. So like it's just hard to explain. So when people that are at your show can jump on stage and release that themselves, because that's really what that is. Like,
sure,
it's just whatever they're going through. Like, even if it's as simple as like, I just had to work 5 days in a row and I'm sick of my boss and I want to punch every single asshole. Like that feeling of that release is just
all
so
that's
integral.
out the window. We was just talking about this on a episode we recorded the other day. That time, when that interaction with you, with the band, with the music, your bills are not worried about. Like I said, your boss breathing down your neck, your shitty work week coming up. That's out the fucking window for that time. And you, like you said, no drug can replace that ever in life.
Nope. Being able to just get that out of you. And you feel better, man. You feel so much better. And like we luckily, like we get to do that every night. We get to be on stage and just release that shit every night when we play. That's why it's, even as like how we've kind of pulled back from the touring, like I can tell a difference in the way I feel. Cause I used to be like totally calm because we'd be on tour for like, 4 or 5 months out of the year. And I'm like releasing for that whole time. So I'm like, I'm home. I'm just cool. Now, like I find myself like, man, I need that release.
Yeah, so, I got to get back out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just incredible.
That's your therapy.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I do think we've talked about it before. It is escapism, right?
That's 100% what it is.
Yep.
Yes.
And I do think you mentioned the lyric on that part of that song. I know we're talking a lot about 5 Year Winner. We're gonna get some others here in a minute, but that lyric, that simple one line, when you can say a lot with just saying a little bit. I always love that you can say so much, because that can mean so much. Burn it down and walk away can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Yeah, everyone gets a different look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So speaking about some other songs, kind of what we do on this podcast is we'll play a song and then we'll chat about it. You good with us playing a few of your tunes?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's start with, Twan stole mine.
I did.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, good. This just got better.
I love this one. Here we go. Let it play, baby.
Yeah, rock that motherfucker.
If you listen to that and your head's not bobbing, your fucking ass isn't shaking, you're dead. You're dead. You have no soul.
You have no soul. You are dead.
That riff in that song gets me amped every time I hear it.
Yes.
Agreed.
Good.
I want to fight somebody.
That one's a staple in the set list, right?
Yes, 100%. All the time.
Got to play that one.
Yeah.
It is my favorite Zao song. I love the bass tone on that. It's so nasty and dirty.
Filthy.
The tempo changes. Tell us a little bit about The Rising In.
Well, it was one of the first, I think it was the second song we had written for Funeral of God. And we wrote that with Jesse when Jesse was still in the band. So, man, it's so weird to think, because like some songs are just so hard to like write and some things just happen. So like that riff, that little like floaty riff that is played in the beginning for that, it's just, I remember being such an easy thing to happen for us. I think Russ had that little floaty riff and we just moved around and solidified it, and having that, you know, that beat that Jesse came up with for that part was great. And it just, man, it's when it, and you know too, it's really weird as a songwriter, like, you know, when you have something that is special, because like it just makes you excited. I think that's the key to it. You just have to be stoked, because if you're stoked, people are gonna, like, you know, identify that. So, but yeah, we're just super happy with that main riff, and then everything else kind of came on board. And then once again, man, Dan's lyrics and his vocal performance and the way his phrasings and stuff, he just, I'm so happy I am in a band with Dan.
We are too. Jinx, same.
No offense to you or anybody else that's ever been a part of Zao, but Dan is Zao, right? I mean, that voice is...
Oh, dude, I say that every time. I'll say that till the day I die. That dude is the reason why the band is the way it is, 100%.
Does he have to do anything with his voice? Is it
just wake up and piss excellence? Like,
honestly, I mean, I know it took him a little bit, like, to be able to keep strength up for it, like right at first when he started doing it, but you know, now he's just attuned to how to do it. He does try to keep his voice like when we're on tour, he won't like talk real loud, you know, just try to kind of like be as good as he can to his voice. But he found these really great lozenges. They're not cough drops, but it's like a lozenge that like kind of helps moisten your throat and keep your throat, like, because that's really the key. Like, you want to make sure that like there's enough water, and like, you know, as much as he likes to drink here and there, like, you can't really drink too much because alcohol will, like, you know, with your muscles and your skin, it dries it out. So like, you have to keep all that stuff as moist as you can, especially with the way he does it. So, and it's weird too, because like, I know a lot of that comes from his diaphragm, which is how you're supposed to do it, but it sounds so throaty, but it's really not as throaty as you'd think. Yeah. So,
you know, and you do a lot of the vocals, you do a lot of the backup vocals and the singing. Mm-hmm. And is there any preparation that comes with that? Like, say you're getting ready to go out on the road in a couple weeks, you know, is it something that you have to sort of prepare for your voice, kind of getting it road ready and ready for those shows?
Yeah, like I definitely rehearsed a lot at home. And the thing, like, for us, you know, it's for as loud as we are, even on stage, like, we don't have like in-ears, and we don't do any of that kind of stuff. We just go and play. So as a singer, it's really, really hard to do because everything's so loud, and you never hear your voice loud enough. So I'm like, I know, like, even if I rehearse and work really hard, by the time we get on stage, I'm not going to hear shit anyway. And it's going to, all preparation goes out the window. But I just try, at least, like, I sing a lot at home, and I try to make sure that I'm strong enough when we go out there that I don't lose my voice throughout it's kind of cool too. What's nice about how we do it, like, I have such small little areas that I sing that I never really have any potential of having, like, losing my voice. I don't, you know, I'm not doing like a whole song or anything.
Or a whole set.
So usually I just go for it and whatever.
So since Twan stole my pick, I had to go with Savannah. So let's hear a little bit of Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Banger.
Another staple in the set list, I imagine.
Yes, it is. And what still to this day makes no sense to me is how we wrote a song in 98, 99 that still somehow sounds relevant in 2022.
Yes, 100% like, it does, yes.
I feel like Savannah is such a just psycho type of song, and like maybe it's because like there's like extreme music's just never gonna have like a shelf life because it is what it is, and it's such a small amount of people that actually like it. But it's really, really crazy to me that Savannah, like, we can play that song right next to one of the ones off Crimson Corridor, and it's like not even an issue.
Yeah. Right, they just flow right together.
Yeah.
You know, what is it like for you guys to hear Zao's influence on what modern extreme music or heavy music or whatever metal genre you want to call it these days. What's that like hearing Zao's influence on that, or some of the bands that you came up with, the Living Sacrifices and Stretch Armstrongs and all of those bands of the scene that you came up with? What's hearing that influence like on modern bands? What's that like for you guys?
I mean, it's super humbling, and you can't, I don't really think about it, because like we're super humble dudes that don't think anything that way. So like, I don't ever think like, oh, I've been an influence on,
right.
But it's like super exciting.
Obvious. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Obvious. Yeah. Obvious. And like you said, humbling.
Yeah. Like I'm so proud that like we've done something that people identify with, that care enough about it and like it enough that they would at all emulate it. Because I mean, in reality, especially if you're in a metal band, we all know, like, you know, I grew up like, I mean, dude, Zao's sounds like Carcass. It sounds like Entombed. You know, we grew up with all these awesome bands that we totally looked up to. And I mean, even like some of the local bands, we talk about that a lot. There's a band, like a couple bands from our town, one called Abnegation and one called Passover, that were like super integral in what our sound is now. So yeah, we're influenced by so much stuff that it's really awesome to even think that somebody takes influence from us.
And I did hear that on one of your interviews. You know, the Carcass thing seems to come up a lot with you guys, but you were saying in the interview that, you know, Dan's vocal style especially was more influenced by some of the local bands that you mentioned there.
Yeah, like, and I mean, there's a possibility that those local guys were influenced by Carcass too. Like, right, I definitely think there's that in there, but what I found out of Carcass after I found out of some of the local bands in our area doing this kind of extreme metal stuff. So, but yeah, we were so into that whole thing that we were really influenced by that. And then by extension, you like get influenced by all the other stuff that everybody likes. So,
yeah. And I know Neurosis is an important band for you as well.
Huge. Still, I think that band can never be topped, period.
Yeah. And I was going to say, you can definitely hear that on Liberate.
Yep.
You can definitely hear that influence. And that was your first record with Zao, right?
Yep.
So I definitely hear like Scott's influence and that influence heavily on that record and then throughout the rest of your catalog.
Yeah, I like the ugly, scary stuff. So
fucking right. Me too. Bring the scary.
Same.
Okay.
And Dale, your choice. Into the Jaws of Dread.
Yes, obviously, I love all of the heavy, but this having Chris Dudley from Under Oath.
Yes, Chris did such a good job. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we all like that song, but like when Chris put on all of the stuff that he did, man, it took it to a whole different level.
And I also feel like it's the perfect intro for a live show because you come with the beautiful and then the fucking heavy.
Yep. And I'm excited about that song because it's the first song we did in like the low, like A tuning. So I'm like, yes, finally.
You're like, here I am. My time to shine.
Can we hear a little bit of it?
Do it.
Let's do it. So pretty.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So I said that intro and then fucking make it heavy right after that.
I had a tough time fading it out. I just want to keep playing it. And I've seen that you guys actually open with that sometimes.
Yeah, we have.
We've
done
like
a couple
perfect.
shows. Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's such a cool opening. It's when you're doing like a main support slot, it's harder to do that kind of stuff because you want to get out there and kick everybody's ass and get out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. Come out and rage. So it's like,
Yeah. But when you do your like headlighting slots and you have a little bit more time, it's really nice to be able to kind of open up the set with that thing and then start pummeling people.
So do you guys have like a close connection with Under Oath?
Yeah, like Under Oath's been a band that we've played a lot, like tons of shows with early on in our career. So
that was probably back in the Cornerstone days.
Oh yeah,
Cornerstone,
all that stuff.
Yeah, fucking.
So
right.
it's it blows your mind to see a band like that comes from that where they came from to where they are now. Is just
and weren't they Grammy nominated? Is that correct for some things?
Oh yeah, they were.
I thought so.
Were they really?
Right.
Under Oath Grammy nominations.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember reading that before. Yeah,
absolutely awesome.
yeah.
Kind of talking about these festivals, you guys are playing one that I think is the lineup is awesome, but also peculiar too. Because I know you guys put out on your Zao Facebook page like you want to see Zao and ICP at the same time.
Oh well, dude, we'll hang down with the Juggalos.
Yeah. Let's get some Fago and get this popping.
Yeah, we don't want on the wrong side of the Juggalos.
No, hell no.
No, you don't.
Dude, if you get the Juggalos on your side though, you're in.
Yeah.
You're like
Oh,
in
yeah.
for everything.
Indestructible.
We got the gangster pass to anywhere if we got the Juggalos.
But you're playing the Blue Ridge Fest, Virginia International Raceway, and man, that lineup is loaded.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I like, it's so weird to me to see. I'm really like anxious to see how this goes because you have bands that are like top of the heap, like Slipknots and all these bands, and then there's so many different stages that like. I mean, they have a stage dedicated to bands like from our scene, and I think this is going to be awesome. I mean,
Damn right.
You really want to like open yourself up to different people. Somebody that just listened to Disturbed and then they come see our stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, pull different fans that are there for different bands.
Do you guys know which day you're playing?
I believe I think it's Saturday.
Saturday, awesome.
Yep.
Blue Ridge Fest, Virginia International Raceway, late September. Check out Zao and ICP.
Yeah.
and Disturbed, or you could skip ICP and Disturbed and see Zao.
Yeah, just go for Zao.
Which is more along my line.
Yeah. Pull the SpongeBob. All right, I'm going to head out.
We have Scott from Zao with us, going to be going out on tour in a couple weeks with Darkest Hour and Bloodlit. What's the plan for after this? What's the plan for the fall, winter time?
Well, we are just talking back and forth about seeing play as much as we can. We are going to probably do some dates around that Blue Ridge thing so we can, be ready and be strong when we're there, but just to get some more shows in. We are always writing. So, that's going to come sooner than later of us trying to get some stuff together to put another record out or some releases or whatever. So, just keep our nose to the grindstone and work.
Let's see what the studio audience thinks of that new Zao that we're writing.
Yeah.
Yay.
We're excited for that, man.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of you guys since songs from the penalty box days and old.
Jeez, that's awesome.
Old samplers and all those old times and that scene that you guys came up with. You guys were so pivotal for what we hear now and what we've heard since. Zao is top of the list for me. You've not been able to keep some of those old vinyls and even the new vinyls on the shelves. You've just been selling out of everything.
Yeah, dude. There again, you're humbled and just blown away by what people care about. So yeah, every time we put out these reissues, they've been immediately gone. And like people, especially now with the way we, do our business. I mean, you can't even understand how amazing it is to see that happen. And, that kind of stuff just allows us to keep doing more things. Cause that's what we'll do. If we sell whatever Crimson Records or like we get involved in all these reissues, like that money and all that funding goes into what we do next. So just hope to keep that moving.
I love how you guys are able to do like different designs and colors on those and those just.
Well, we totally take, pride in all that stuff. We want to be involved with everything, especially with like how we run our own label now. So anything new is all coming from us. So it was really fantastic for Tooth and Nail and Unoriginal Vinyl, which really they're the heroes of this whole thing, but getting us involved, letting us make decisions, being part of the decision making, helping them like do certain things with those reissues, like all that stuff, we're really, really proud to be a part of.
I'll successfully get one of those at some point. I think I was in a queue at one point, and then suddenly, nope, no more.
You got to be
on the draw.
You got to be quick.
Quick on the draw.
These metalheads, they don't have jobs. They just sit around and wait.
Sit around and click.
Yeah,
Zao.
That's it.
Yeah, we're joined here with Scott from Zao. Bandcamp, is that the best way to support you guys? Official Zao.bandcamp.com?
Yeah, you're directly buying from us. You know, you're getting it shipped from Jeff or me sometimes. You are 100% directly involved in everything we do on there.
officialzao.bandcamp.com and support you guys. We're going to check you out the Blue Ridge Fest and out on tour here in a couple weeks with Darkest Hour and Bloodlet. Scott, we appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yep, thanks, buddy.
Oh, dude, it's literally my pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me.